Hello ladies and gentlemen, this is William Keat of lawandalchemy.org and commonlawconstitution.org. So this is an introductory video to a whole series that I'm doing on the two ideologies of individualism on the one hand and collectivism on the other, and how important it is that we embrace an individualist philosophy and reject collectivist thinking. I'm going to go through why that is, why it's absolutely critical, and why in fact it's actually a prerequisite that we adopt individualism and not collectivism, really because the universe, reality, nature requires that of us if we are going to bring about a healthy society, one where we have liberty, broadly speaking. And if we don't adopt that individualist philosophy, what we'll actually continue to do is to manifest that downward spiral that we're absolutely seeing at the moment. And the reason why that is because we are falling into collectivist thinking quite often without even noticing it and spotting it. The reason for that is because society is set up as a collectivist structure. What that tends to mean is that we have a kind of our rights sit under a sort of a zero-sum game, that in order for certain people to gain rights and liberties, it means that automatically that someone else has to lose them. And we can see that, for example, in the majority-minority thing, voting in elections, because everything's set up that way, then essentially it turns the whole system into a kind of zero-sum game. So what this series is all about is why that is fundamentally collectivist, and it will hopefully demonstrate to people why it is that in not being consistent in our principles, in adopting that individualist ideology, even those of us who are the most liberty-minded and the most awake, if you like, in society, are actually falling into traps ourselves, because we've, in a sense, we've fallen into a sort of victim-perpetrator saviour mentality, and we're just blaming the other side, the people that are doing this to us, the enemies behind the scenes, of which it's quite true there are some who are behaving abominably, but many of them don't actually understand how this is supposed to operate, just like, you know, the people in our own community and our own families also don't understand it either. So the people in the system really are just an extension, in a way, of that. So really, this is absolutely consistent, this series of videos, in the general message that I'm putting out on Law and Alchemy, which is that it's much more nuanced than that. It's much more complex than just a bunch of conspiracists that are out to get us. It's not as simple as that. This whole thing about individualism and collectivism in a way, I think is at the root of this. So I hope you find this series useful and interesting, and it clarifies a number of things. But I'm going to start with the first part, talking about justice and morality. I hope you find it useful. Cheers for now.